in one of those subjects or biology. Then they would have to take the grade 11 one first before they could take the grade 12. It doesn't mean they couldn't graduate in 1 year. It just means that there's a little bit more of a cost and a little bit more, there's some more courses that need to be finished. If a student comes to us in grade 10 or, partway through grade 10, we can give them either 8 credits equivalency, or we can give them up to 12 credits equivalency. So it works really well with all different curriculum. And then I'm going to show you, actually, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Oh, there are 2 other requirements for getting the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. One of them is the Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test. The earliest a student can write this is in grade 10, and it has to be passed, or if the student fails it, it's not a big deal because they just have to take a course afterwards, a literacy course. Now, one of the benefits right now during the pandemic is that the government has waived the Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test requirement. So this means that all students who are graduating this year from grade 12 do not need to meet this requirement. And so if you have any students interested, there is still time to register for this, to finish if they're going into grade 12 or they already have their grade 12, there's time for them to still earn their Ontario Secondary School Diploma and take advantage of the government waiving the test. And then we have community service hours, and students in Canada, if they're in high school for the 4 years, they are required to do a total of 40. For international students, we're allowed to prorate that. So that means that students have to do 10 per year there with the school. So if they come to us only in grade 12, this means they only have to have 10 community service hours. And there's a package that we have that shows all the different types of activities that are acceptable by the government. And it's quite easy for students to get it. It could be helping out with a sports team. It could be, helping their grandma with groceries. It's just basically really encouraging students to be helpful, to volunteer, to be great citizens. And then we have, so when we do the partner schools, so if we're doing, say, a partner school in Nigeria or in, say, Taiwan, this could work in any country, we are able to do many different creative things to help the students not have a huge workload. And how we do this is we do it through either a challenge credit. So students are allowed to challenge up to 2 credits from each subject area. So they can challenge 2 maths, 2 sciences, 2 Englishes, whatever. Normally what we find with our international students is they tend to just challenge the sciences and the maths. And this can really help reduce the course load. Also, we work with the schools so that we can work, students can take a course in their national curriculum. So for example, they could take the grade 11 math in their home school, and we would map that curriculum with our curriculum, and we would just give a final project or a final exam for the student to earn the credit. So this means they could do a dual diploma if a school wanted to do that. They could still get their national diploma and at the same time get the Canadian one with minimal extra work. The other way is through equivalency credits, which I already talked about. So we do have, so this is an example of what semester 1 could look at for a school. And it would actually normally be September to the end of January. There were some changes this past year because of the pandemic and a late start. So for example, in period 1, a school could do, we always suggest that the school does our English, because the student, no matter what, needs their grade 12 English credit to get accepted to university. So if they do the English credit, the English credits prior with us, then they're more than capable of getting a high mark. So they could do their English with us, then they could do their math with their regular math course in their school, and we would map it with ours. So they would get a national curriculum credit and an Ontario one. First period for English, they would get an Ontario credit. Then for third and fourth period, because we only do 4 classes a day, 4 75-minute classes usually, they could do their computer science with us. And we suggest the computer science that is done with us because we actually offer it as an advanced placement credit. So if the students get this credit and they're successful on the college board exam, they can earn a credit towards post-secondary for college or university. And they also get, for grade 11, they get their industry recognized Python certificate. In grade 12, they get their industry recognized Java certificate. So it's a fabulous computer science program. And then in grade 12, they could do their physics with their national curriculum, and we would do the same thing, map it with our curriculum and give them a final exam or a final project. And we can do that with most courses. It really depends on the school. So when you're approaching schools, it's important to remember that it's really flexible. It actually looks, a partnership looks different at every single school, because every school runs differently and they have different administration. And so we work our program to work into the partner school, not the other way around. So we try to do it as seamlessly as possible without causing much disruption to the regular school. And so then this shows, and we can share this with you afterwards if you're interested. And what else did I want to show you? So this is just actually a handout that you could show partner schools or prospective students. These are the top 10 universities in Canada. And of course, the OSSD is recognized in Australia as well, Singapore, all the top universities, the United States, the United Kingdom, Hong Kong. So it's just to give an idea of how much it is accepted worldwide.
I have a question,
Now,
Laurie.
Yes.
I have questions before that you go forward.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
I put 2 questions down. The first question is concerning the domestic fee. Can you please re-explain this one more time, how this is working? Because I think this is very important for all the agents to understand.
Sure. So right now, when international students come to Canada for university or college, they pay a much higher tuition fee than Canadian students. And this is similar worldwide, I believe. So one, the Canadian government is currently working on ending that practice, just because it really is unfair and we're missing out on a lot of great students that would be able to come if they didn't have to pay such high fees. But what they're doing in the meantime to help international students is if they have an Ontario secondary school diploma, and actually Ontario is right now the only province that allows for students to get their high school diploma in their country. So internationally, students do not need to come to Canada to be a registered Ontario student. They get their Ontario education number while they're in their home country. And so that's huge. And so then on top of it, what they're saying is if they have their Ontario secondary school diploma, when they are coming through for immigration, if they apply for their permanent residency in Canada, that will be fast-tracked based on the fact that they are already graduates of our system. They're already Canadian high school graduates. And so from a lot of research that we've done and students that we know, many students get this permanent residency by second year. Some of them it's third year. And so what this means is that once they have their permanent residency, they no longer have to pay those high tuition fees. They can now pay the domestic fees. And I'll give you an example. I believe at So at Ottawa University, say, the regular tuition is 8,000 Canadian a year for a student, for a Canadian student. For an international student, I believe it's about $25,000 a year. So that's a huge savings for students when they come over. Now at the moment, they won't see this in their first year university, but they could see it possibly by their second, but for sure by their third. And so our programs are 4 years, but many students end up staying for their master's or their PhD and their doctorate. So the amount of savings over that time would be huge.
So, Laurie.
Does that help?
Yeah, so this is very, very clear, and you explain this in details. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are agents, you're business people, you know what to do now, because you know the biggest advantage, and Laurie already explained now what is the difference in fee for domestic and international one. We have your email address because you registered today, so we will recontact you when the workshop is finished, and we will resend and email you all the details. But this is a very, very big advantage. So you can imagine if you approach some students who are interested to go to Canada, and if they will do only the final year, the grade 12 or the grade 11, 12 with Canada Academy at home, they will receive a big discount from the second, not from the first year, like Laurie mentioned, but for sure for the second year, or when it's very worse, then it can be the third year, but they will save a lot of money. And you really explain this very, very clear, the difference between a national and international student. I think this will help a lot. And this will help as well for a classroom school, correct? For partner school in the home country. Laurie, this is a big advantage as well for a local school who want to include the OSSE diploma.
Absolutely. It's a great marketing feature because it is what families are looking for. And also on top of that, you have the one thing that many international students worry about is having the English proficiency requirements when they go to university. So if they come to us for 4 years, that's exempt at 98% of universities. But there's also in Canada, there's also alternatives to that. So if students aren't with us for 4 years and they come to us just in grade 12, or the partner school decides to run it just for grade 11 and 12 at their school, there's still advantages. And the universities have programs for these students. They still gain admission. And then there are English sort of integration programs into the university for international students. So right now, Canada is really working hard to attract more international students and make it easier for them to come because quite frankly, we have many jobs that we need filled here and we need the brain power. And so we're trying to attract, young, smart, hardworking individuals from around the world.
Laurie, I have a second question, which I put down. In the beginning of the presentation, you were speaking about IELTS, that it can be waived. How is this working if they do the OSSE diploma?
Okay, so it only works if a student has 4 years in a Canadian high school. So if the school, a partner school, or an individual student comes to us for grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, I would say 98% of universities in Ontario waive the English proficiency requirement. So students do not have to take IELTS, or they also don't have to take TOEFL. And I've actually put together a document. I think I might have shared it with you. I only put it together recently, but we can share that share the information with agents, because you're going to have schools and parents ask you about this, because especially when students come to us in grade 11 and 12 and they haven't had the chance to practice their English as much, they're worried, well, they'll get this OSSD, but what happens after with the English proficiency? And don't worry, it's all taken care of, and the students will be fine. And so I put together a chart just to explain that and to help agents explain it to parents and schools.
Thank you, Lori. We're looking forward to receive this document. This will be very helpful for the agents.
Yes.
Please continue with the presentation.
Okay. So now for course reference, and actually schools would be very interested in seeing this, because it shows what courses we usually run. And you can see that some of these courses can be used as collaboration courses. So for example, in grade 9, if they're taking art in their home school, we can use that for an Ontario credit. If they're taking physical education. Now we do French, obviously in Canada, for the second language, but we can actually take a second language from any school. So for example, if they have Mandarin, we can give an equivalency for Mandarin. And these are for students that start with us in grade 9 and so on. So I'm going to backtrack just for 1 second about one of the benefits of students getting their OSSD, because there's many students that want to come to Canada to become a doctor, and they want to come to medical school in Canada. And the reason why is because if they want to immigrate to Canada and be a doctor here, even if they come from their home country with their medical documents, they will be required to do some schooling here as well. And so to avoid that, a lot of people just prefer to come and do their medical here. And so by the time they get to medical school, they'll have the permanent residency, so they're paying Canadian fees. But the biggest bonus is in Canada, medical schools have to save 80% of their spots for students that graduated from a school in their province. And so that means only 20% of spots are available for international students. And that's why they say Canada is one of the hardest countries to get into medical school. So if the students have their diploma from Canada Academy, they have an Ontario diploma, and now they are in that 80%. So they get accepted to medical school just like an Ontario Canadian student. So that's very, students that have already researched going to medical school will know the importance about this. Now, in grade 11, in Canada, students start picking their pathway. So this means they might decide whether they're going to go into the sciences or the business stream or computer science or the arts. And once they decide, they get to pick their courses based on that. And we've put together some packages. Now, there is some flexibility in these packages. There are some compulsory courses that have to be taken that the universities require, but we can work with the schools on what they think their students would be interested in. So we have a science pathway course, a business pathway course, computer science, and general education pathway. And most of our students that come to us already have the prerequisites, even if they started in grade 12 taking the pathway courses. A couple places where it would be important to talk to, I know the curriculum in India is a little bit different, where students are allowed to drop their math and science in grade 11. And this becomes a particular problem if they want to go into the sciences, because to be able to take grade 12 in Canada, or if they even want to go into the business, because in Canada for business, you need math. So it would be, if they were going into grade 11, encouraging them to get their math and sciences in their home country, or explaining they can do them as prerequisites with us throughout the year. So this package can also be shared so that schools can look at it. These are things that Richard and I have realized over time that schools are very interested in, and these are the questions that you'll be asked. Now, for a partner school, it works very seamlessly. A partner school can start with, really it could start with just a couple of weeks notice, but we prefer at least a month, just so that we can make sure we have enough staff. The school is able to run this program like their own. That means that we give their teachers quite a bit of access to EDSB, our learning management, and to all our content, so that they are able to help their students the best way they can. Our goal with Canada Academy is, now Canada Academy has been around for 25 years and is very well known in the community in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. And Canada Academy Online has been around for, I think we're going on our 5th or 6th year.
Sixth year.
6th year. And our goal is to have the best online school. And the way that we're trying to do this is through our courses. We're making them more interactive than any online school that you'll find, more communication, more support for teachers, families, students. And we are constantly updating our courses. And in fact, we just completed a phase 3 of our courses, and they're fantastic. I just wanted to show you a little bit here. So on EDSB, this is our platform. So this is a course that is running right now. You can't see in this course, but there's also a spot for if there's parents or agencies that need to or admin from the school, we can add as guardians, so they are part of the class and can always see. So there's always transparency. The teacher always books for our online or international schools. We book 1 week at a time, just so the school can decide how they want to run it. The school decides, if we are doing, they want to finish maybe in 6 weeks a course, then we divide the course up so that they can finish it in 6 weeks. So the teacher posts everything here and actually puts the links here, even though we really don't need to, because everything is also on the side. These are, for example, like this shows that there's 19 students. We also show the grade book here. So, the agent or parents are able to see students from that they are guardians of, not everybody's marks. And so this will show where the student is right now. And so this is very transparent. There's not many schools that offer that. They're able to, access all the course materials. Now, for lessons that students or that facilitators can run in the classroom. Now, students can do this in student-paced mode, or they can also do it in instructor-paced, where the instructor would be running it. And we allow our facilitators to do the instructor-paced. Oh, I think it's because I did it too soon.
No problem, no problem. It can happen.
Right.
We are live here, ladies and gentlemen. Laurie from Canada. I have a question in the meantime. Can I ask you just a question that came in? One of the agent, in this case is from Eduardo from Brazil. Hello, can we offer a grade 12 course while a student is in grade 11 in his home country?
We can, yes, as long as he has the prerequisite for it. And some courses don't require prerequisites. So yes, absolutely, we can do that.
I have another questions to you, which I think it's very interesting. Some agents who are with us, they have to understand that we have this experience with Canada Academy since a long time. We have a student from Nigeria, but not one, many. We have students from Tunisia, not one, many. We have students from Turkey as well, from Europe, just to understand. We have students from Taiwan, from China, from South America. We have students from everywhere in the world, and it's very, very mixed. So now this is the great time. It's a great time to looking into direct students or to work with local school in the home country. And here as well, we have excellent experience as well in Africa, as well in Nigeria. I personally was in a workshop last Saturday at 6 p.m. in Abuja time, in the capital of Nigeria, with many parents, and the agent in Abuja was asking a lot of questions, and with the school together, who in Lagos, I presume is the school in Lagos, which they have their own facilitator who was trained by the Canada Academy, correct, Lori?
Yes, absolutely.
How
And we have been so pleased with the classroom facilitators. It's actually worked much better. Like, I thought it would work well, but it's actually gone above my expectations at how well it's worked. It's really, there's been like a sense of community between the two schools, and it's actually really nice to see. And the teachers in that school are also learning a lot as well, because we are a little bit cutting edge right now with how we do our curriculum, how we're presenting it, and it really helps students be ready for post-secondary internationally, but it also is great for teachers to learn. Did you want me to show this here? So this is just an example of one of the types of presentations. And so students can do this themselves at their computer, or the teacher facilitator can do it with an LCD projector at the school, or even a smart board, depending on what the school has access to. We make it so that it works. You know, we know there's different economic factors, and there's different availabilities in different countries. So we have solutions for pretty much everything at this point. So this is just an example on a lesson for one of the novels. So I should have picked a science one to show you, because they're quite interesting how they are. So here, the students would answer. And so the teacher gets all of this, and we make it so the facilitator also has access to all the answers as well. And there's many different, so for example, and then the students can draw on here. The teacher can make it so that it shows on the LCD projector or not. So it becomes like quite a good interactive lesson. For the math and the science, like there's just so many different things that the teachers are able to do. And that actually brings me to, for math and science, we have something called gizmos, which are simulations for math and science that meet the expectations of the curriculum. And the kids love them because they're interactive, they're fun. It's a wonderful way to learn curriculum. And then for our senior students in the sciences, we have Labster, which is a virtual lab that's used at universities worldwide. And we were the only high school using them for a while, but because of the pandemic, they have just blown up, because so many schools needed to have an option for senior students to go to university, because they need to have experience in these labs. And so we make sure that our students are able to do this. If you're interested in finding out more about Labster, you can find, I think they even they're on TED Ed. They did a really great presentation, or a really great, I guess, presentation, if you're familiar with TED Ed videos. So that's how we do it. Students can message their teachers on Edsby. There's an internal messaging platform, but we also teachers will use WeChat or WhatsApp, whatever it is that works best. We definitely do WeChat or WhatsApp with facilitators, as that just makes it much easier for them. They don't have to log into Edsby every time. And if it works better for students, the teachers do that as well. You don't get to meet my business partner and the day school principal, Shannon, today. I'm the one of the owners and the principal for the online program, but both of us are very passionate about this school, and both my children went through it. Shannon has 4 children going through it, and we've both lived in the community for years and years, and it's very important to us to have a really good product to offer, and it's important to us that everybody's happy. And so right now, we are definitely the only online school that's giving this amount of support. Um, Perhaps other schools would jump on board now that it's getting, worldwide, everything's changed. But right now, we do have something special that we're offering. Is there anything else I forgot about?
No, Lori, everything is clear, and I think you explain exactly. Now, I want to ask you a question. I know the answer already, but when a local agent is approaching a local school who want to integrate the OSSD diploma, what is the minimum number of students should be in a classroom? This is the first question. And the second question is how the facilitator will be trained from Canada Academy.
Okay, so in a classroom, to be able to give the prices we're able to give to our international schools, it's much lower than what our students here in Canada pay. But the only way we're able to do that is by having full classes. So this means that we need at least, we prefer 30, but we have decided we will take a class of 20 to start, because we know once a school starts, it will build. Once people start to see what's happening, they see students successfully graduate and see students successfully go to their post-secondary school, the programs will build. But we asked for 20 to get started.
It's fine.
What was the other question? Sorry.
Yeah, the second question was how long it will take a facilitator from a local school to be trained from Canada Academy?
So it doesn't actually take that long, because a lot of the training is ongoing on the job, but we do training. We do 2 live webinars where actually our teachers teach the facilitators. And we are in the process right now of making some professional help videos, basically, so that a teacher facilitator can quickly go and look at a video if they have a question. But the teacher facilitator and the classroom teacher are in constant contact. So that contact actually turns out to be teachable all the time. We also would always like to have a training session with the admin with the school, and that would be perhaps the guidance, the principal, and perhaps whoever's in charge of registering students. And that's just to show the process and how it works with what courses, and also to figure out what courses that school wants to offer and what courses they think would work well as collaboration credits and challenge credits.
I have with me today, Lori, I have with me today an agent, and the agent is in contact with a local school with 200 students. So how that he has to handle the situation with the facilitator? Is one facilitator enough, or they need more facilitator, or will be the facilitator train the other facilitator? How this will work?
It's really up to the teachers and or in the school. We are more than willing to train all of the facilitators. We usually do group training, and so we can do the group training. It depends on how the school wants to run it. If they're running it in a regular classroom, they're going to want a teacher facilitator in each of those classrooms. Right? So if they have 5 classrooms of 30 students running, they're going to need 5 facilitators, because they're going to need, people supervising those students. It does not have to be, there's ways to save money in a school. If they don't want to have a teacher, they could have like a tutor type. But we highly recommend, one, that their English is excellent. And if they are facilitating for science and math, that they are very comfortable with the content. And we do provide facilitators with the content ahead of time so that they can brush up on their skills if they need to. We actually haven't found, it's worked well so far, that the content has been fine.
Fantastic, Lori. This was a very interesting reply from you. Now, one more thing in refer of a classroom. Let me explain. What is the support from Canada Academy directly to a school, beside helping helping the facilitator, will Canada Academy, you or some of your staff, will be able to support the local school when they speak into the parents? For example, I make the example of which I was speaking before with Nigeria, which we have regular Nigerian students, and once every month, myself or you, we go in contact with them when they have a group of 50 or 100 parents, so that we can explain a little bit more in details. It is a support the Canada Academy will give.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do everything to help the school get their students. And one of the things is doing something similar to this, where the students or parents are invited to a meeting like this. And I and my and Shannon can present and explain and show examples of the program, and answer parents' questions. I also suggest, when agents are talking to the schools, oftentimes, and I know the worry is that if they're introduced to us too early, they might try to bypass the agent. And I'll be honest, we don't have time we need our agents working for us, because we don't have time to deal directly with the schools. So we will not do that. We'd be more than happy to sign a contract that we wouldn't do that. But I highly recommend introducing them to us earlier than later, because oftentimes I am able to explain it to a school better, and only because I've been in education for 24 years. And I've also done this for a while now, and I know the concerns. And so an agent might not be familiar with what we're able to do, what we're not able to do. And so oftentimes what will happen is that a principal will have this question that's never come up before, but I'm able to say, oh, that's interesting, we could actually do this for you. And so that could help save your sale by doing that. So and I'm willing to do that if that would help you. And I really think it would, but I do understand what the fear is, but we are not interested in doing this alone. We want you to be able to do your job and to make the money that you deserve, and work with us for a long relationship of working with you.
Yeah, we are looking here to work with partnership. We already have an excellent experience in the last 1.5 years in work with agents, we work with local school, and it worked well. It worked very well. We are very pleased as well with the staff, the team, etc. The feedback is excellent, really more than excellent. I have now we went from online students to classroom students with facilitator, from and study in the home country. Now let's go to Canada. And let's go with the school in Ottawa, the sports school in Ottawa.
Yes.
And for agents who have students who want to go directly to Canada and start immediately, maybe they can do the first year online with Canada Academy, and then jump in and go to Ottawa in the sport school. This is a high school who has a lot of sport activity. We have many agents here with us as well from Eastern Europe, Central Europe, from Russia. So hockey, this is something, a very big sport, but not only hockey. It's all yours. You can start with OSA Ottawa Sport Academy. Please, Laurie.
Okay, so we're really excited about this. We do have Canada Academy Day School here in Ottawa. That's, a beautiful campus. But we were approached by a hockey team. If you're familiar with Canada, hockey is very important. And then we have the National Hockey League, the NHL professional players. And they play for the United States or Canada. And so if you are into sports, you know this. So the Ottawa Senators are located in Ottawa, and they're actually located just down the road from Canada Academy. We were approached a couple of years ago to start a school with them, and this is the first of its kind. Never before has a school partnered with an NHL team to offer a high school program. Now, just to make sure that everybody, that the people that don't have sports students don't tune out, we do offer just for academic at this school as well. There's a fantastic program for that as well. So this is for students that would come to Canada. And so what we've done is this school has 3 of the best in Ottawa. So we have the Ottawa Senators are doing the development. So this is an NHL team doing the development. Plus we have FitQuest doing, so they're doing the on-ice development. We have FitQuest doing the off-ice development, so the strength and conditioning training. And the owner of FitQuest, the one who's doing it, his name is Chris Schwartz, and he is actually the strength and conditioning person for the Ottawa Senators. So he travels with the team during the season. And we are doing this at the Bell Sensplex. The Bell Sensplex is a huge facility in Ottawa that's owned by the Ottawa Senators. It has an area for classrooms. It has 3 NHL style rinks. It has a huge full-size soccer field, indoor field house, and football field. And it's very well known. Basically, it's beautiful. The Ottawa Senators are renovating it to have, state-of-the-art classrooms with beautiful furniture. And it will run for grades 4 to 12. And we already have a lot of domestic students that are coming to the school. The weekend that it was launched, we had a huge reaction to it. It was actually went over our expectations, and so we were able to get registration. But we're also very interested in bringing over international students for this program. So it'll have all the same academics. So what I showed you here on EdSpeed, this is actually what we do for our day school as well. Our day school, the teachers teach like a regular classroom, but they use the exact same courses that our partner schools do, and what OSA will do as well. Oops, sorry. So I'm just going to go down here and show you. So just saying basically that Canada Academy, our curriculum provider, which is us, we've been educational leader for more than 24 years. The Ottawa Senators hockey programs has been outreaching to Ottawa youth for over a decade. And FitQuest, he just works with sports, all sports and all professional players that you would be very familiar with. And very quickly, I'm going to also tell you that it's not just hockey. So you see here, there's pictures that show the different types of sports. And this is because we are actually accepting all different sports. For example, we just signed a deal with a very well-known baseball program. And so they're going to be running the baseball program with us as well out of the field house, the indoor field house, and they'll have their strength and conditioning with FitQuest as well. So this is all done during the day with the academics. And this is important because a lot of elite athletes, what happens is that once they get into high school, we lose a lot of our elite athletes because of the academic part. It's too heavy to do that plus their sport. And so we've done it so that it's within their school day, and they get credits, 2 credits a year for their sport. So that's 8 credits in total if they come to us in grade 9. And then also we're working with different associations with dance, figure skating is a big one as well. Football, we actually have somebody who played in the NFL running the football program. So it's quite, it's really fantastic. But we are also offering for just academic students to come. And that's because in today's world, we know that mental health is huge. And so, and also learning a life work-life balance. You know, we want to teach our children to be resilient. And so they will be all a part of this, even if they're not playing the actual sport. They will be a part of all the nutrition training, the mental health awareness training. They'll get all the benefits of going to watch, you know, Ottawa Senators games, meeting with the NHL alumni, working in the community with them. We have so many fantastic things planned for the year. And so I won't read everything through here, but so other sports eligible include baseball, basketball, football, golf. Oh, we have an amazing golf pro who's also running a program. Lacrosse, soccer, tennis, gymnastics, cheer, downhill skiing, speed skating, figure skating, and track and field. So we have been, we're very lucky to have so many professionals surrounding us. We do grades 4 to 8. And now for students coming over, I don't know if parents would be sending their children that young, but definitely we've had grades 7 and 8 students come over, and we work with a homestay program called Canada Homestay. And we've worked with them with Canada Academy for years, and they're fantastic. So I think what will end up happening, what we're hoping is going to happen, a lot of the families will be families that have their children at OSA, because we've had a lot of interest in that, but there'll definitely be families in the community. Now, for students that come, they may be very interested in playing for our competitive teams in Ottawa, whether that's hockey, soccer, football, whatever it is, and they are welcome to do that. And we've arranged it with the Canada Homestay that these students will be able, the families will be aware, and they'll take the students to practice and games so that they can do all the things they love to do. And this is actually an amazing opportunity for students to integrate into the community and to really get a taste of Canadian culture, make lifelong friends, because it'll be even more than just being in school.
Laurie,
oh, sorry.
I have a very
Yes.
interesting question. I think this is
Yes.
very important for the agents, and this is the win-win. Now, this is a sports school. They have many different sports, but the win-win is when the student is finished the high school, and if the student is very good in sport, he is eligible to enter into the university, especially the US, correct?
Yes, in NCAA schools. Div 1, Div 2, or Div 3 schools. So we have already established relationships, and we'll be working very closely with them so that they can offer our students scholarships. And because that's, you know, the dream of many athletes is to go, especially to the United States, for university for their sports. And the United States is one of the only countries that offers full scholarships for sports as well.
So this is a very important information. So students who finish the grade 12 with OSA, Ottawa School Academy, they, if they are very good, they will receive as well scholarships. Some of them will receive full scholarship for the US university, and there are some dedicated university for this. Is this correct, Laurie?
Yes, yeah, we have Northwestern, Colgate, Princeton, Harvard. Like there are amazing NCAA schools out there, Boston, U. And so one of the things too that we're very fortunate about is that we have agents that will be agents for the students to help them with their sports and getting into schools. So we have all the right people in place for these students. We have an NHL team that is working directly with the school, which is huge to have. And then, of course, we offer the academics for grades 9 to 12. And the thing, too, is that often what happens is that at sports schools, the academics is forgotten. And we do not want to have that. And we've heard from a lot of people in the community and in the sports world that that really needs to change. And so we're giving, it's the same high standards that Canada Academy already has that we're going to be offering. And then this goes and it's just more information. It's very similar. We offer some focus programs. Students can specialize in computer science, business, health and wellness. This explains what type of skills program they'll have, for hockey, what they'll be doing. We actually have one, I had made this earlier on, and so I didn't include the other sports into it. But if you have students that are interested in another sport like football or baseball, we have these programs already put together as well. But this is to give you an idea of what it looks like. So now on top of this, students also have the opportunity to, stay in the summer for camps. We have camps over Christmas and March break. And this is where, it's important for people to know, like in Canada, I think worldwide, people will look at a sports academy and understand that it's for all sports. In Canada, hockey is the number one. And so a lot of people will think, oh, it's just hockey. And no, it's not. And it's actually very important. One of the things, so we have a couple NHL players that are working very closely with us. Chris Neal, Chris Phillips, they are, if your child is interested in hockey, or you'll know these names. They're very famous, and they will be coaches at our school. One of the things from the very beginning, when we started talking about this dream of opening the school, they said it's really important for students to experience other sports. Because they learn so many different skills from different sports. And that's why we actually have that integrated into our hockey program. So this is here, let me see, international schools. So they may want to try out what I mentioned for local competitive sports teams. We have amazing sports teams in the area, and homestay families will be able to take students to practice in games and make sure that these active students are well fed. It's a fantastic opportunity for international students to immerse themselves in Canadian culture. And then it goes on to talk about what we're looking for, and the benefits of an international, and then the application process. Now this does not mean they won't be accepted. We do ask for, if they come from a country where they haven't taken English school, and this, not all countries are like this. If they haven't taken English classes, then we ask for them to either we have our own tests they can do, or if they already have one of these testing, they can send it to us. And the only reason we ask for this is so that we can customize their program to suit them, to make sure that when they leave us, they are strong in English, that they're able to do what they need to do in post-secondary. And so it has nothing to do with whether or not they will be accepted. We would never not accept a student based on their English skills. We have enough staff here that can help all students. Now, we offer for all of our students, whether it's with KAO or OSA or KA, we offer pathway guidance counseling. And so for university, and I don't think we mentioned this, and this is important because this is for KAO as well, is for university applications. When a student is registered in an Ontario school, the first thing we do when you register a student with us is we have to generate an Ontario education number with the Ministry of Education. That Ministry Ontario education number stays with that student forever. That's their number. It shows that they are a Canadian student, or they were a Canadian student, and it allows us to put them into the University Application Center as a domestic student. So this means their application goes in as a domestic student, so they get looked at by universities first. And so that's really important. It's called the 101 application. Otherwise, students have to go in as the 105 application, and those don't get looked at until Canadian students have been placed, or domestic students have been placed. We prepare students. We are actually, OSA is going to be an SAT. So those of you familiar with the United States know that they require SATs, even if you're going for non-sports. And so we are an SAT examination center. So we have been approved to offer the SATs at our school. And so students don't have to go anywhere. We prep them for it. They write it right at the school. We do lots of practice ahead of time to make sure that students are ready. Now, for COVID-19, because this is, one of the questions for everybody, it's had a tremendous impact on the education. So I'm just going to read this. COVID-19 has had a tremendous impact on education, teachers, and support staff over the past year. Maintaining the safety of our students and staff is our highest priority. As a private school, we are able to offer small class sizes, allowing for ample social distance in the classroom, throughout the school, in the gym, and on the ice. OSA follows all Ottawa Public Health guidelines, as well as recommendations and directives from the Ministry of Education, including strict screening and in-school safety protocols. Lastly, our curriculum is easily able to shift to online learning. Therefore, in the case of a mandated stay-at-home order, we are able to continue the school year without interruption. And so what's happened in Canada so far this year is that, so for example, after Christmas, they decided to keep students at home quarantining for 2 weeks, just to kind of, so that there wasn't as much of a risk as transmission, because people saw each other over Christmas. And so that was very easy for us to do, because we already have courses on EdSP. The students didn't miss a beat. And that being said, the Ministry of Education, we've started to get a name with the Ministry of Education with our program. So we were contacted by them back last spring to help out a few schools in Toronto that didn't have the ability to easily switch their students. And so we did that last year, and those schools have continued to stay with us because many of their students stayed overseas. And so we're helping other schools as well in Toronto, so that their students can continue their education. And so I think that's it. Oh, sorry, very important. So the professionals involved. So will be the principal. And then if you get a hold of this here, you'll see what my credentials are. Chris Neal, so he's a former professional hockey player in the NHL. And he is one of the development coaches that will be on the ice every day with the students. We have Brendan Bell. He's also a former professional hockey player in the NHL. I haven't added, because at the time we didn't have that, they hadn't signed their contracts, but we have Jesse Winchester and Chris Phillips as well. And then we have Shelley Kettles, who's a technical skating specialist, and she is so well known in Canada, and everybody wants her. My son played competitive hockey, and he would always ask for sessions with her, and they were so expensive. And I would allow him to take a few every year, but she is going to be a regular on our ice, which is phenomenal. Then we have Andy Bryan. He's the head of the hockey development with the Ottawa Senators, and he is just all about the students, all about the kids, and he is so proud of this program. Then we have Chris Schwartz, and he is known to be one of the best strength and conditioning coaches for all sports. And it just says he's, an NHL head coach, and it says all the different things that he's done. He's worked with he still actually currently works with the CFL national team. He was a pro volleyball player. Then we have Hannah. She was Team Finland International Women's Players. She's currently the head of our hockey development. And then we have Julie Nur, and she was an NCAA coach at Syracuse University in the States. She is, she was one of the team head coaches. And so she's going to be on the ice all the time with the kids as well. And then we have Scott Greenham, and this is for the goalies, because often when goalies go to sports school, they don't get as much. Basically, their training is the other kids shooting on them. And so we wanted to make sure this did not happen. And so we have Scott Greenham. And so for 50% of the time on the ice, the goalies are going to have one-on-one with Scott Greenham. And he's a consultant for many different leagues. And then we have, these are just the owners. And so we have Cal Lavallee. So I'm one of the owners, and then Cal Lavallee is one of the owners, and he actually specializes in creating classrooms that foster student engagement. And I wish I had some pictures here to show you what the classrooms will look like, but they're going to be really nice. And then we have Shannon, who I talked about. So she's the co-owner of Canada Academy Day School and Canada Academy Online with me, and the Ottawa Sports Academy. And then we have Kevin Rattray, who's her husband, and he's a dentist. So I should have actually put Dr. Kevin Rattray. And he is also, he's not only a dentist, so he has 2 popular dental places here, but he also is on the medical team for the Ottawa 67s, for the OHL, the Ottawa Red Blacks, which is the Canadian Football League, the University of Ottawa Men's Hockey League. So he's on the medical staff, one of the dental, the dentist for them. And then we have the Ottawa Senators alumni. So this is basically the Ottawa Senators alumni. They do a ton of work in the community. And so there's about 45 former Ottawa Senators players, and they are going to be offering scholarships every year that students can apply for. I'm not sure how many, we haven't heard that yet. They will be doing guest appearances and guest speakers. And so you can, check them out on the web if you wanted to. And then we also have the Ottawa Senators Foundation, which is a community volunteer organization. And this is going to be very important for our school to be part of this. And they are very excited for our school to be part of it. And so our students are going to be out in the community, helping, making visits at schools, doing things at the Ottawa Senators. They'll be able to do puck drops at the games. So we have we're going to be helping out at some of the homeless shelters, just things in the community that really is amazing for students to get exposure to. So I know I've talked a lot, I'm sorry, but it's brand new, and so.
Very good, very interesting, excellent presentation. I think you complete everything now. One very important question. I'm typing down everything. So if a student will come for the final year in Ottawa, then technically is the second year when he will start at the university. Yes. So in this case, he will be like a domestic student.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, he will pay the first year in the university like a domestic student, not like as an international student. I'm correct?
Yes, exactly.
So this is a win-win.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
This is a win-win because the investment to go to Canada is okay, it's understandable for 1 year, but from the second year, if not for the second year, but for the third year for sure, he will be paid the tuition fee like a domestic student, not like an international student. And this is something that every agency should understand. This is a very, very big advantage. Yeah. We'll put this on email as well, and we will email each of you, and we will ask as well if you're interested to have a one-to-one session, so we can look inside with you in refer of Canada Academy Online, in refer of Canada Academy partnership with local school, and in refer of Ottawa Sport Academy directly in Canada. And this is a very, very important point. And as well here with Ottawa Sport Academy is the one-to-one sessions. So the one-to-one application into the university is made directly from Ottawa Sport Academy, where yes. Lori is the director. She is the principal of the school, and she will look after all the international students.
Yeah, and we have relationships with agents that are helping us as well. And we've had like some just amazing things that have happened since we launched this. So we will have a bus available as well for students. So even the homestay families won't have to take the city bus, or the homestay families won't have to drive them, because we've had a dealership approach us a car dealership approach us, a Ford one, to offer us a bus wrapped, because they're just so excited about having this in the community for our students. So it's yeah, it's really exciting. So we'll be doing that. Now, just to give you an idea of how so we have Canada Academy, the campus, and that is only about a couple minute drive to the Ottawa Sensplex. So basically it's just an offshoot of the campus of Canada Academy. So, and there will be students that will come from Canada Academy for the hockey as well. Yeah, and so now one of the things that I have to warn you about is that in Canada, I don't know if it's like this in other countries, but private schools have been filling up very quickly because of COVID, especially in Ottawa, just because the two public boards had the class sizes are so big that they aren't able to offer full days. So students have to go, they can go to school one day and they have to stay home the next day. So they share their time at the school. So like right now, Canada Academy has wait lists for most grades. We expect that we'll probably have wait lists as well. We don't yet, but we could see it happening. So just so that people won't be disappointed in
Fantastic, Laurie.
yeah,
Fantastic. You can share the screen with me, please.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
No. I think it was a fantastic presentation as usual. I think in the last 1.5 years, we had together more than, I don't know, 30 presentations with agents around the world. So ladies and gentlemen, now we have your contact. We will contact each of you. We will ask for a one-to-one session, and we will explain you as well in written all the biggest advantage to work with Canada Academy online, Canada Academy partnership, or with Ottawa Sports School. Laurie, you did a fantastic presentation. It was very clear and very understandable. You want to add something to finalize everything? Hello?
Yeah, Laurie.
For those that can.
Yeah, Richard went. You can proceed.
That's okay.
What you wanted to say. He went.
I just wanted to reiterate that we do accept students that are not, that don't play a sport, that it's not mandatory. And in fact, I'm hoping that we will get students that don't play a sport, because I think there's many benefits for them, that they, learning a healthy lifestyle, mental health awareness, all these things that we're hoping to help children grow. So yeah, that's.
Thank you, Laurie. Sorry for the technical problem with my internet connection, but it can happen. We are all live. Thank you, Antonio, to join on board. It was very helpful to have you here. So Antonio will contact each of you and will explain you how everything is working in details. Antonio, you want to add something?
No, nothing. I think it was a very interesting session. Laurie has given a lot of insights, a lot of interesting information, how you can combine sports with academy, right? So that's very interesting. So I think there, yeah, let's see what is the feedback, right? So how can we combine Canada Academy with this sports school, and how can students, take the biggest advantage? So, I mean, that's really important, right, Laurie, that we can understand how can take the students the biggest advantage from both institutions, from both schools.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you very much. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, everyone, to be on board with us today to this special edition for Canada. Thank you, Laurie, for the presentation.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Laurie. Thank you, everyone, to join us. I wish everyone a great day. Have a nice week, and we keep in touch in the next day. Thank you, Antonio. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.